considerably more satisfied with this performance than on Tuesday at Virginia Tech?
I'm happy we won. You know, I went in the locker room and I said, how many of you guys picked up the scouting report and read the scouting report, other than what the coaches kind of spoon-fed you? 5 guys, I think it was. All 5 returning guys. How many of you watched the scout on your iPads? Same guys. And that's why we have a 4-point play at the end of the half, because that was a newcomer who, as much as you tell him, you know, that he was the leading 3-point field goal percentage shooter in the Missouri Valley a year ago. You better find him. And we didn't do, and then, you know, we had kind of going our way, and then he goes to 6 at halftime, and then they come out and make a little run to start the half. I've seen that picture before. Don't like it much.
So what changed that picture?
Well, Aaron hit a big shot. And we finally got to stop. And one he found Terry in transition, and Terry had to step in 3. And shots at Terry and Aaron. And those guys are very capable of making them. So, you know, all of a sudden it went from 4 to 10, which when you look up there at the scoreboard, you feel a little more comfortable when it's 10 rather than 4. And we got a couple stops. We're not going to continue to outscore people. We're going to have to do a better job defensively. Not very happy with that, but a lot of that comes from guys not knowing or not paying attention to what they're supposed to do. And that's the new guys. And it's not, you know, it's those other guys have been here and they understand. They've been through a season or 2. So they know the consequences, where I think our newcomers don't understand the consequences yet, although you would hope that the Blacksburg experience would help them with that. It hasn't to this point. It's just we're going to have to keep grinding on. And, you know, you got to do some things. You got to bring something to the table. Remy shot the ball extremely well at Virginia Tech. Shot the ball extremely poorly today. That's going to happen. I mean, that's basketball. That happens. But, you know, you have to contribute in other ways. And that's what we've got to kind of get through to them. You know, when the ball's not going in, do some other things. Screen, get some guys open, get some offensive rebounds. Try to guard once. You know. Some of those guys, I think, if they actually stopped the guy once, they'd kind of like it, you know. Might want to do it again. Now it's a continual parade to the rim.
Coach, you were talking about the other day putting Terry in a bad spot. Do you feel more comfortable putting him in now? Is he practicing?
Well, he practiced, Jason.
Yeah.
Justin. He did practice before. I mean, I didn't know at Virginia Tech how much Gary would be able to go. So I was going to try to steal some minutes with Terry. I've done Terry's, you know, weird. And when you sit down and you look at our team, you know, you think, okay, Jawan State's our point guard, Aaron Harris is our 2. Terry Henderson's going to be a wing for us. He's going to play, you know, he's going to spell Aaron some, and he's going to share some time with Nate at that position. And, you know, Nate, then we can play Nate a little bit at the stretch 4, which kind of lighten things out a little bit better. But hopefully we get everybody back and here soon.
Could you have used Gary if you had him?
You know, I don't think he planned on dressing because he didn't think he could go, but yeah, I was going to have him just go and shoot free throws, which I maybe should have anyway.
Yeah, that's what it is.
But he's shot the ball pretty well.
How do you feel Jawan and Aaron did overall?
Jawan's been terrific. He really has. He's been terrific. He listens. He's trying to do the right things. He's trying to run our team. He's trying to be an example for the younger guys. Aaron made some shots. I mean, Aaron gets shots. You know, Aaron had great shots. And Aaron could have had, very easily could have had 35 in Blacksburg. And he made some layups. He can score the ball.
Devin Williams had a double-double. What more does he have to do to progress as a young player?
Guard his man. And he gets himself in bad positions because he takes some plays off. He's got to understand how hard you got to play for how long you got to play. But Devin's doing what we thought Devin could do. And we thought Devin could come in and rebound the ball at this level, and I think he's shown he can do that. Thank God he is, because we are losing the battle of the glass every game.
The problems that your big men have been having with help side defense, is it not knowing how to do it and what you're asking them to do? They haven't done it before.
Well, they've done it since the day they walked on campus. So it's not they don't know, it's they just don't do it. You have to condition it. It's almost, it has to become an involuntary reaction. You just do it because you've done it so many times. And I mean, I don't know how many more times we got to do it with them. But it's just Brandon Watkins brings us some really positive things. And we work for 3 days because this is a pretty good pump fake team and a pretty good, step around you team. Try to create an angle, but with their bigs, because they're not overly big, they do a great job of creating angles. And so we stressed and drilled, not just stressed, but we drilled. Stay on your feet. Stay on your feet. First thing he does, he gets in a game and jumps, and the guy goes and shoots the layup. It's just a matter of doing it enough that they become conditioned to do it. And a lot of it is, as I tell them, you got to be tough enough to do the right thing all the time. That's when you're good. When you do the right thing all the time.
How important is it that this is the second year that those guys have been together, especially Juwan and Aaron? I mean,
Well, as Aaron told me, he said, Coach, I understand why you were so frustrated a year ago. I understand. He said, because a year ago I had no idea. I was just running around trying to figure it all out. And I think as the season went on, he did start to figure it out. But now they've got an idea of what I want. They got an idea of how to get opportunities out of the offense. I think Wani the same way. They understand the offense so much better. And they understand that don't do the same thing all the time. Do something else. Because you can be very creative in an offense, and we were so like passing the screen away, passing the screen away, passing the screen away, that we weren't very creative, and they're like, this isn't a very good offense. No, the players suck. You don't have to do the same thing every time. Nobody said pass the screen away every time. You can pass, cut to the basket. You can cut, pass, and go to the ball. You can ball screen. You can back screen. You can cross screen. You can diagonal screen. You can post. You can flare screen. It's just a matter of but you have to have some guys on the same page. And I think what's happened with Wani and Aaron, and I think Terry will help that to a degree, is they are more on the same page, than what they were before.
Coach, the rebounding, how much of it is bigs getting in foul trouble, and how much of it is just a lack of rebound?
Well, Remy's never been a rebounder. Never had much interest in it, to be honest with you. Nate's never really been a rebounder. I think Nate's attraction more has been he shot the ball so well, and with size and being able to shoot the ball and being able to pass the ball some. He wasn't a ferocious rebounder. We thought we had that fixed, and those guys are here but not playing. You throw those guys in there, and we rebounded a whole lot better. And you know, Kevin Arena's never been a guy who can go fetch it. He's been kind of a guy who hopefully can keep his guy from getting it. So, and then Brandon, I think Brandon could be a good rebounder. Brandon's just got to figure it all out.
Is some of that also because guys other than Devin haven't figured out yet about playing defense the way that you want, and then turning and getting rebounds that they're working so hard, getting to spots they're supposed to defensively, they're not getting to rebounding position?
Well, for whatever reason, and I'm not sure why it is, it's I think the normal reaction in with today's kids is watch. They don't react, they watch. It's just it's a different culture. It really is. It's it's more of a they play. It's an AAU culture instead of going to the playground. Where when you go to the playground and you're the youngest guy, you got to pass the ball, you got to screen, you got to throw the ball to the best guy. And if you go out there blasting up balls, you're never going to play again. So it's just a different culture. And I think maybe going to the playground and trying to stay, be able to get in the game and stay on the court was, you learned a whole lot more sometimes. And it's just become such a dribble penetration game that it's a lot different. I in a lot of ways don't blame big guys for standing there watching, because if you ever watch an AAU game, sometimes they have the ball the whole shot clock, spinning, throwing between his legs, doing all these things. And then when he can't beat his guy, he says, come ball screen for me. And then that's, so it's just different. It's just different, and we've got to, our job is to condition them. It just doesn't happen overnight.
Can you talk about free throws?
We make 100 a day.
So is it in their head then? Getting in the game and
We didn't get the ball up. I don't know why we didn't get the ball up, but we didn't get the ball up. I mean, I get every day how many they make, how many it takes them to make 100 rather. And we should be, I said on the radio, we should be 80% free throw shooting too. And maybe that's not with Devin, as Dev's going to get fouled some, but those perimeter guys all want to be 80%. They are every day when they make 100 or more. They're more like high 80s.
Anything else?